time for Wave 3 Listens Live on Kentuckiana's first live local TV talk show, all hosted by John Ramsey. This is Wave 3 Listens Live.
And welcome to the work week. I hope you had a fantastic Easter and a great weekend with your family. It is Monday, and that means Brookstone Financial is here. We're going to talk about your roadmap to retirement today with Seth Stewart. We always kick off the show because we want to keep you up to date with the interest rate. It's the interest rate update. You're the expert, Seth. Time to go to work, my man.
Well, John, rates are always looking up at Brookstone Financial. Currently, we have FDIC-insured money markets at 0.80. 3-year fixed annuities are at 2%, 5-year fixed annuities at 3.25, and short-term maturity bonds. And that's the key. Right now with the interest rate risk, you want to keep your bond maturities very short-term. We're not going outside of 5 years, but we have some great rates. The 1 years are at 5%, all the way out to the 5 years at 8.5%. So great rates at Brookstone.
Not too shabby. Brookstone Financial. We'll give you the information. In fact, we're going to give you a little bit of information now. If you'd like some free information and meet some very nice people, Brookstone Financial has some upcoming events. Seth, I'm going to let you take over again.
Yeah, John, we host a lot of educational events throughout the year. This is our upcoming event at Social Security and Medicare Planning 2015. A lot of changes in the system, a lot of changes in the numbers, and everyone that attends will get a great informational packet as a takeaway. It's April 9th from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's at the Courtyard Marriott on Blairwood Road, Louisville, Kentucky. There's the number to RSVP. And actually, we only have a few seats left to that venue because it's fairly limited on the seating.
You and I were talking, Seth. Social Security, is it because of the volatility of the market and the fact that we know things may change? Seems to be a very hot topic on this show, and that'd be a good place to get some free information.
It would be, yeah. And there's a lot of baby boomers retiring or basically reaching age of eligibility. Currently, we have 10,000 baby boomers turning 65 each and every day, and that trend's going to continue for the next 15 plus or minus years. So a lot of people are out there seeking advice on Social Security. The problem is when they go to the local Social Security office, they also often get conflicting advice, because fact is the Social Security office cannot give you detailed strategy advice. All they can tell you is what your benefit is likely to be or projected to be either now or in the future. So if you want detailed strategy advice, come see us at Brookstone Financial.
Okay, we always have a focus on this show. Whenever I have Seth in, I say, hey, I want to use your expertise, want to pass along some good information. And today it's about 401ks.
Yeah.
If you have a 401k, you may be wondering, okay, this feels pretty good, it feels pretty secure, I like it, I like my company, this is a way of them rewarding me. But the market is a little volatile. So what would you say now about 401ks? Is it a good thing to hold on to that 401k?
Well, the market is volatile. And, you know, I'll tell you what, I think that volatility is probably the new norm. I mean, this volatility is likely here to stay for some time. The problem with 401ks is the lack of guidance or the lack of information on how you should be allocating your 401k. Most plan participants, if you're sitting at home and you do have a 401k, you're probably thinking, man, I'm lucky if I hear from somebody once a year, maybe twice a year. But again, with all this volatility and the fact that you're nearing retirement, allocating your 401k, having the proper allocations is critical, especially as you near retirement. You don't have the time on your side to make up these big dips or big losses in the market. So at Brookstone, we provide unbiased guidance and advice on how you should allocate your 401k.
And some of that advice has to do with taxes and fees, correct? Because sometimes you're getting hit with fees or with taxes and you don't know those, and if you happen to be very savvy at how to maneuver your money, you can avoid some of that and save yourself significant dollars.
Yeah, and from a tax standpoint, when you roll a 401k over to an IRA, now you have Roth options. And a Roth IRA, I mean, it's basically as if you're paying taxes on the money now when it goes in. So the contributions are not tax deductible like they would be in a traditional IRA. But when you take money out in the future, that money is absolutely tax-free. Plus, the growth on that money is tax-free. Now, if you're home watching, you have 9 days. If you haven't, in fact, filed your tax returns yet, we have 9 days until the 15th. So you actually have 9 more days to contribute for 2014 to either a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA. And our folks at Brookstone Financial are standing by to open those IRAs and accept those contributions. Because, again, if it's going in traditional, it's tax deductible, a great way to minimize your tax burden this year.
So this may sound like a cover-all question, but I think it's worthy. It's like, so is my 401k, is it okay? Is it good?
Yeah.
Is it a good investment? I mean, is it something I should feel secure about, or is that too much? Do you really need more information?
Yeah, you need more information and you need professional guidance. I'd like to flip over to a slide that I brought with me here today to talk about just market performance within 401ks. Average stock investor, okay, John, this is over a 20-year period ending December of 2012. The average stock investor, this is the do-it-yourselfer, averaged about 4.3% per year. The average bond investor fared far less at 1% per year. Now, when you look at the indexes, and what I mean by index is the S&P index or the bond index, there's a lot to be said for index investing because most mutual funds, including the mutual funds within 401ks, do not outpace the broad market. You can see here over the same period of time, the S&P averaged 8.2% per year, and the bond index averaged 6.3%. So, you know, quit trying to beat the market. And indexing is often not an option that you have within a 401k. So when you roll out, you do have the option to use the indexes outside of the 401k versus all these complicated mutual funds and target date retirement funds that are within the 401k.
Wow, that's a little bit over my head.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you to simplify a little bit, if you would, when you talk about indexes.
Yeah.
Okay, help me out.
Okay.
You know, I'm Joe, don't know anything kind of guy.
Okay, so here's the thing. If I buy a mutual fund, let's say, John, I could go out and buy a growth and income mutual fund. That fund is probably going to consist of a certain percentage stock allocation and a certain percentage bond allocation. Well, I could accomplish the same thing by going out and buying the S&P 500 index fund, which is far less expensive to own than that mutual fund. So I could buy, say, 60% of the S&P 500 and 40% of the bond index. And John, really ultimately comes down to fees. I mean, when you look at the internal fees of these mutual funds within 401ks, you're probably talking, as an estimate, somewhere around 0.75%. I can accomplish the same thing at probably 0.09 or 0.10. So it's a fraction of the expenses that we're paying within the 401ks.
Interesting. So if we have a viewer now, and you may be one who has a significant 401k, or you want to know, what should I do now? I am nearing retirement age. What should I do? What would be the first step? Bring in your 401k, bring in all the information that you have, and meet with someone?
Yeah, bring in the 401k statements, first of all. And we're going to talk here in a bit about triggering events that would make you eligible to roll over your 401k. But we mentioned fees just a minute ago. You know, bring in the 401k statements, give us a call to set up that complimentary consultation. But speaking of fees, and here's the lack of transparency in 401ks, and I'd like to show the viewers at home a slide here that has some of the fees. And this is from the U.S. Department of Labor, by the way. So this is not just my opinion of what the fees are within 401ks. First of all, John, you have a plan administrator fee. And the argument is, well, I'm not going to roll over my 401k because there's no fees. Well, here they are, straight from the U.S. Department of Labor. Plan administration fees is the first one, investment fees, individual service fees relating to the service of the plan. Now you compound the mutual fund sales charges, the front-end loads or back-end loads associated with the investments, and then the account maintenance fees as well. So to say that there are no fees in a 401k, you're kind of having the wool pulled over your eyes.
Where did you get this information? I'm curious. This didn't come from Seth Stewart and Brookstone Financial.
No, John, this is straight from the U.S. Department of Labor. So, you know, great source of advice, obviously, when it comes to, you know, transparency in 401ks and the fees that are involved. And often you can save money by rolling that 401k over to an IRA.
All right, 401ks, that is the focus today. And we're going to talk more about those coming up here. Seth Stewart, again, Brookstone Financial, will throw up the information during the show. So if you'd like to have that complimentary consultation, we encourage you to give their office a call. Obviously, there's one near you. There's 4 locations right there on your screen. Give them a call, set up a free consultation. Seth Stewart will be back. We are Wave 3 Listens. I don't know about you, but information is power. That cliche is true, and certainly free information is even better. Brookstone Financial has a couple of events coming up, and we want you to attend. We'll throw those up on the screen. And Seth, this is free information. Get to meet a few folks at Brookstone Financial, and maybe a few of your friends. You were saying sometimes people will get there and they'll go, wow, I didn't even know that you had called, and there's a little bit of a, I guess, some networking going on.
Your neighbor may be there, or a family member. Yeah, but if you're nearing age of election for Social Security or Medicare, you need to attend attend this event. There's a lot of changes in the system in 2015. It's at the Courtyard Marriott, April 9th from 6 to 8 p.m. That's on Blairwood Road in Louisville, Kentucky. The RSVP information's right there on the screen. It's filling up fast. We do have a few seats left, but call to RSVP for that event. Again, John, if you're nearing age of election for Social Security or Medicare.
Okay, now here's a question. You touched upon this a little bit, but I want you to detail it. It's it's opening day in baseball, right? So here we go, Reds versus the Giants, whatever. You mentioned that Roth IRAs are a good choice over a 401k. Can we talk about IRAs in general versus a 401k?
Yeah, and there's some similarities and there's a lot of differences between 401ks and IRAs, but I do want to talk about some of the advantages of IRAs over 401ks. And if we could go to the graphic here for the viewers at home, first of all, when you do roll from a 401k to an IRA, one of the advantages is that you have many more investment options. You have not only the same 20 or 25 mediocre options you have in the 401k, but now you have those plus the universe of investment options. You also have professional, unbiased guidance on when and how to allocate your 401k. We're local, we're readily accessible. You can come in and meet with us and we can lead, guide, and direct you on how to allocate that account. Potentially lower fees, again, John, we talked about fees earlier, and direct access to your money. This is really cool because I don't know anyone out there that doesn't like having access to their money. I mean, it's your money, you worked for it your entire life. Our IRAs, we can have checkbook access linked directly to that account. Now, obviously, if they write a check off their IRA, that check, for whatever the amount is going to be taxable. But there again, it's about having access to your money. It gives you a level of comfort knowing, hey, if I need to get to this, I can stroke a check just like I could at the local bank.
Yeah, that is something that bothers me a little bit about a 401k, is that accessibility. There's something to be said for that. Whether you use it or not is one thing. But the fact of knowing, hey, it's liquid, I can get to it if I need to, correct?
Yeah, and I always tell my clients that we distribute, the checkbook tied to the IRA, put it in the safe, put it in the safety deposit box. If an emergency arises, you need to get to those extra funds. This is a great way to replenish the local bank account, write a check from the IRA. It is taxable, though.
There you go. Now, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, speaking of taxes, Roth IRAs. We all know that there are tax advantages. Could you detail those? And is there anything? Seems to me there's always something behind the curtain that we're not seeing. With Roth IRAs, is it all good news?
Well, first of all, let me ask you a question. Do you think taxes are going to go up in the future?
Oh, yes.
Well, I mean, they literally have nowhere to go but up. So with the likelihood that taxes are going to increase in the future, with a Roth IRA, we're paying taxes on the contributions now so that we can access all that growth and that account value tax-free in the future. So if you're sitting at home and you like to shop, when's the best time to shop? The best time to shop is when things are on sale. Well, let me tell you something. Taxes are on sale right now, and they're likely going nowhere but up in the future. So while Roth IRA contributions are not tax deductible, there are a lot of tax advantages down the road as that value of that account continues to grow. Now, if you're watching and you haven't filed your tax return yet for 2014, you actually have up until April 15th to make both traditional IRA contributions and Roth IRA contributions. So those traditional contributions are tax deductible and potentially will lower your tax burden for the year. The operators at Brookstone Financial are standing by if you'd like to open either a traditional or Roth IRA. We're ready.
Now that's a little bit of a call to urgency because if you miss this window, you have 9 days, you have to wait till next year?
You have to, well, I mean, for a 2000, you can make a 2015 contribution anytime, but you have to wait until, you have up until April 15th of the following year to make it for 14.
Okay, and that's what everyone's interested in.
It's kind of a retroactive contribution.
You're filing taxes over last year now, so now is the time to do it.
Exactly.
I've got you. You have 9 days to call Brookstone Financial and find out about some of these tax advantages that you can take advantage of. But again, the window is 9 days away.
9 days. We're coming up on the 15th, and it's coming up fast.
All right. I want to talk a little bit more, too, about these, what you called, I think you mentioned trigger dates.
Yeah, trigger events.
What's a trigger event, trigger date?
A trigger event is something that would trigger your eligibility to roll your 401k to a traditional IRA. Because there's, many people at home probably thinking, man, all this sounds great, but I'm still working. I can't roll over my 401k because I'm still employed. That's not always the case, John, because there are certain trigger events that will trigger your eligibility. And we do have a graphic for the viewers at home I'd like to flip over to that shows a few of these trigger dates that you may be eligible for. And if we've lost that graph, here it is. Some of the trigger dates are, all right, first of all, you're still working, but you turn 59 and a half. Okay, so if you are sitting at home and you're saying, well, Seth, I can't roll over, If you're 59 and a half, that's often a triggering event. Or you retire or separate from service. That's obviously another triggering event that most people are familiar with. But what we're seeing a lot of this day and age is a lot of plan changes. You know, ABC provider moved over to XYZ provider for the 401k, and there's a lot of this going on. So if you receive notice from your employer that your plan is changing, John, that could give you an open window to roll that 401k balance over to an IRA. And that's a non-taxable event. That's an important aspect here. It's non-taxable rolling your 401k to an IRA, and now you have the universe of investment options to choose from and professional advice.
The advice of Brookstone Financial, how much of that weighs on health? I mean, obviously with Social Security, I'm not good at saying that, Social Security.
It's a tongue twister.
It is. But I mean, how much of that do, when you meet with a client, you know, obviously there's some financial decisions, and I guess there's other things that we haven't talked about, like how much do you want to leave to your kids, you know, that kind of plan and everything. But how much of that is based on how are you feeling? How much longer do you want to work?
Yeah,
those conversations.
And John, you hit the nail on the head when you said, you know, it's about, you know, do they want to leave money to the kids? And it's not about making the kids rich, but it's at the same time you want to keep Uncle Sam's hand out of the pot as much as you possibly can. I see two types of people. One tells me, I want my last check before they put me in the ground to bounce, which is not likely the case. And then I see other individuals that are willing to make lifestyle changes during their life to make sure that the kids or grandkids have potentially more at the end. So, you know, the first question, it starts with, what's your ultimate goal? But life expectancy obviously plays a very large role in when and how you should elect Social Security, because pre-existing conditions, obviously if there are any pre-existing conditions, you would want to put some weighting toward that before you made that election. But again, that's why you need to attend our upcoming event. A lot of great information on Social Security and Medicare and the changes in 2015.
All right, more with Brookstone Financial and Seth Stewart. We are live. We are Wave 3 Listens. We'll be right back. If you have joined us before, you know that Seth likes bringing gifts. Thanks to Brookstone Financial, you could win a $100 gift card to improve your home, interior and exterior painting from industrial coating contractors. And Seth, you have the trivia question.
Yeah, John, the trivia question is, which retirement plan type was actually created first? A, 401k, 403b, the COTA plan, or the traditional IRA? Again, that's a $100 gift certificate to industrial coating contractors. The weather's breaking. They can apply that toward their next renovation project.
Spring is officially here, and I got to tell you, Seth, that sweater, it better have been an Easter gift.
I love it.
That looks like an Easter egg. That's wow. That's
My
cool.
wife won't let me wear it before Easter.
It looks cool.
Yeah,
no,
thanks.
Spring is here, man. Now you can wear what you want.
I know it.
All right, speaking of spring is here, and that does mean tax season is here.
Yeah.
For those who have waited until the final seconds, you're not really tax consultants. However, there is a lot of, I guess, crossover between retirement planning and taxes here. We mentioned some of the ways in which you can help them, but there's probably others as well.
Well, and John, we often refer to what we call the three-legged stool of planning in general, and there's three legs to that stool, three very important legs. And with any three-legged stool, if you pull one leg out, it gets very unstable. You pull two out, good luck. Those legs are the legal, the tax, and the financial aspects of retirement planning. All need to be addressed. While we don't give direct legal or tax advice, we do consult with qualified professionals in and around the community on behalf of our clients to make sure that all three legs are addressed. So if your financial advisor is not speaking with your CPA and consulting on your behalf with your CPA, you're probably missing something. Same would be true with your lawyer or your estate planning attorney. If they're not consulting with your financial advisor, it's easy for things to get overlooked and missed, and the only person that suffers in that situation is the client, unfortunately.
Yeah. We've been talking about 401ks and rollovers and IRAs. What if you're not eligible to roll over your 401k?
Yeah, John, if you're not eligible to roll over your 401k, we have a very unique service at Brookstone Financial. One of the services that we offer for those that are not eligible, we actually go in and we manage the 401k plan for them. They don't have to roll it over. It never leaves the employer. Nothing changes as far as they're concerned, but we take care of all the initial allocations, the rebalancing, and the fee also includes quarterly consulting on when and how we should reallocate the 401k. And I've got a little graphic I'd like to pull up that kind of shows the viewers at home what all this includes. It's called Retirement Plan Management Services at Brookstone Financial. Again, the 401k plan stays with the employer, so nothing changes on that end. You have many investment selections within that 401k, and you're probably wondering, you know, how should I allocate it? Maybe you're listening to your coworkers or your colleagues at work. We can give you professional, unbiased advice on how to allocate. So we take care of the trades, we take care of the initial allocations, and we also include quarterly client reviews as part of the package. Now here's the great news, John. It's only 0.25% or $250 per $100,000 of 401k balance. That's very inexpensive insurance to give yourself the highest probability of success in accomplishing those goals in the future.
And you have a team of professionals. It's all about solutions. Problem solvers is what they do at Brookstone Financial. I think the information you've given us, to me, a little bit of a sense of urgency. If you haven't replanned, if you're close, but you haven't really planned for your retirement, you have no roadmap to retirement, these are the guys to go with here. Free consultation, that's interesting. I like the fact that you showed us exactly what that cost you, and you're getting a team of professionals. This isn't one guy going, here's my opinion. You back it too with expert analysis.
Yeah, it's one relationship, a team of professionals. And one of the things I failed to mention, John, we have a great report on our website at brookstonefinancial.com. It highlights the services that I just mentioned, the 401k management services. There it is right there. You can get the report now. Again, go to brookstonefinancial.com. It's absolutely free. It's a free takeaway, but it talks all about when and how you should allocate your 401k and even how you should currently allocate your 401k.
So, and you don't really push any specific products. You're very knowledgeable when it comes to annuities, 401ks, IRAs, but you're not sitting there pushing really any product. It's really about the individual and where the market's moving, right?
Yeah, it's more about the problems than the product. I mean, the products, honestly, John, they sell themselves. The solution ultimately sells itself. But we focus on products, and I mean problems and not product sales. So it's a different approach at Brookstone. I think we catch people off guard when they come in to see us and they expect that we're going to throw all these brochures or talk about mutual funds or talk about annuities, and we really take a step back because we want to find out, you know, what are their goals, what do they hope to accomplish in the future, and then ultimately what means do you have to meet those goals.
All right, and another incentive is if you needed one, this client rewards program that you have going on. This is interesting. I like this because there's not many people in your business who offer this.
Yeah, no, there's not. We're always trying to reward our clients, you know, and a large part of how our business has grown over the years is through referrals. You know, what better source of a new client than a referral from an existing client or even someone in the community. So if you're watching this show and you're thinking, yeah, you know, I couldn't really benefit from this, but hey, my brother-in-law, it'd be great for him. Tell him about Brookstone. We have a $50 reward just for the referral. So it's a great program.
Before we go to break, I want to throw it up one more time too. I want to talk about the event that's upcoming. Social Security is what it's all about. It's good information and a chance to meet some folks from Brookstone Financial.
Yeah, our entire team will be out there. Social Security and Medicare planning for 2015. A lot of updates you got to hear about if you're nearing age of election for either Social Security or Medicare. You need to be at the Courtyard Marriott on April 9th from 6 to 8 p.m. It's complimentary. There's no charge. We're going to have some hors d'oeuvres, some appetizers on hand. That's 9608 Blairwood Road. Now, there's only a few seats left. This event's filling up pretty quick, so call now to RSVP. All
righty. Something you mentioned that really caught my ear. If you have a 401k, I think a lot of us do, and you said you really don't hear much from folks. Those face-to-face reviews and to keep people up to date and knowledgeable about how their money's doing is important to you at Brookstone, is it not?
It is, because it's not about the number of zeros behind your name or the number of commas in your 401k. It's about building relationships, and it's also about the opportunity for referrals, because everyone knows someone. So again, no matter how many commas, how many zeros, we're going to treat you the same, but it's all about staying in touch with clients. I hear all too often, John, that people come in, they say, you know, I haven't heard from my broker or my investment advisor for, you know, 9 months or even a year. And, you know, that's unfortunate, but we really put a lot of time and attention towards keeping our clients up to date and abreast of changes in and around the investment community and the options that they have when it comes to investments.
All right, coming up here, hopefully we'll have an answer to that trivia question and a winner. If you need some painting done, interior or exterior, we'll give that $100 gift certificate. All of that coming up. Brookstone Financial, give them a call today. This is Seth Stewart. We'll be right back.